got another little batch of samples here that I was just interested in smelling. There are a couple I was interested in smelling because I thought I might actually possibly be interested in getting bottles, and then the others I just wanted to know what they smelled like, and I wasn't able to like smell them in the store. I couldn't find them. So let's start with the Glossier, because I've got the new Glossier perfumes here. I've got You and Reve. Oh, sorry, You Do and You Reve. So I don't have the original Glossier You because I don't really get on with Ambroxan. It's been a long time since I smelled that. I had a sample from it when it first came out, because I'd like bought some I'd bought some, I think their Stretch foundation or something, and they sent me a little sample thing. And I was like, I kind of understand the appeal of that perfume because I have something that smells very similar. But like I said, it's a bit too chemically for me. It's got the modern aroma chemicals in that I don't enjoy. And Ambroxan tends to go a bit screechy on me, a bit headache inducing. So I'm just one of those people who doesn't get on with Ambroxan. I do have Fleur de Peau by Diptyque though, and that is like my answer to Glossier You. It's like my version of something like Glossier You, like a papery, musky, irisy skin scent. But these both looked quite interesting. I thought it'd be fun to smell them and see, you know, what I was going to get. And I have to say, kind of surprised. So I've got one on my hand. I've got this one. Let's start with Glossier You Reve. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Reve, maybe? So this is the one in the cool kind of purpley, plummy coloured bottle, and that's because there's plum in this perfume. So you'll see the bottle now. The notes are buttercream in the top, middle notes of iris, almond, plum and sandalwood, base notes ambrette and ambroxan. This really smells poisonous to me. I mean, this is levels of aroma chemicals that I just can't get on board with. So it's definitely, I've got that kind of slightly nose tingly sharpness I get from Ambroxan, but that's not the most bothersome thing in here. This has a tarry kind of, I'm trying to think what this reminds me of, and I'm thinking of being in a car garage. There's something toxic-y, chemically smelling about this, or like a kind of, I don't want to say motor oil because I don't really remember enough about what that smells like, but it's got an industrial kind of smell about it that's not entirely just that tarry smell I normally get. There's something else, I don't know. I am getting a slight fruitiness, a slight sweetness. I wouldn't have recognised it as buttercream, but there is a slight plumminess for sure. And you've got the kind of almond and irisiness a little bit, but it's just totally overwhelmed by the chemicals here. Yeah, that's Reve, not so much, not so much. So then if I move to my other hand, I've got the You Do on it. Let's see, let's just find the notes. I'm noticing quite a few bottles of this already on eBay, so I'm feeling like people haven't been too chuffed with the Reve. I've seen a couple of reviews already, and one of them I saw a review, and the lady absolutely loved Reve. That was her favourite. And then I saw Amy Glam actually smelling these, and she really didn't like Reve either. So I wonder if she can smell the same chemicals, or whether she doesn't like plum. So You Do. Let's have a sniff of this one. This is far less offensive to me. This is a much nicer perfume, but it does smell very classically like the kind of Santal perfumes you get. And it's not a million miles away from Katy Perry's Indie either, but it's a bit more tangy. So again, I definitely couldn't wear this because the Ambroxan is a problem, but the notes in here, top notes violet, middle notes Palo Santo, frankincense and myrrh, base notes ambrette and ambroxan. I think the violet is what's giving this a sort of slightly fizzy, tangy smell, and I think that's really pretty in here. I think the myrrh is really nice in here as well. I feel like this is a much nicer perfume. It's it feels more coherent to me. I mean, I realise with the other one I'm only really getting chemicals, but this one, if it wasn't for the ambroxan, I would be able to wear this one. So this one I think is pretty. It's not it's not quite as creamy as something like Indie. It's a little bit drier. But I think that woody, myrrh, musky smell with that slightly kind of fizzy violet is like actually a really nice combination. It's really, really pretty. If I look down here, I wonder what that's been compared to, because I feel like it's going to be Santal 33. Yeah, there it is. Santal 33. Juliet has a gun. Which one's that one? I'm trying to remember the name of it. Oh yeah, Sunny Side Up. I don't think... I'm still getting a little bit of that kind of coconutty vibe that I sometimes do get with creamy sandalwoods. But yeah, I mean, let me just have a flick through what else. Yeah, it's basically Santal 33 and things that smell a bit like Santal 33 and dupes of Santal 33. Santal Supreme. So yeah, that one I think is really nice. It's more affordable than Santal 33. I'm not getting pickles from it. I am getting a fizziness because of that violet, but I'm not getting pickles. So I do occasionally get pickles from things, but this one not so much. So I think this one is nice. Let me just have a look and see if Reve's been compared to anything. Oh, I just hate it. It's just smelling it's really upsetting. I really don't like it. It's horrible. Ooh, Lipstick Fever. I mean, I'm not getting Lipstick Fever from it. I'm not getting... Okay, it's compared to... Is that the original Scarlet Poppy? Let me just look. Yeah, okay. I can kind of see where that's coming from, but at the same time, oh my god, Scarlet Poppy is lovely. And this is the original version of Scarlet Poppy, so the one that I don't find quite as fruity and sweet. But yeah, I mean, you can't really compare them because Scarlet Poppy does not smell like a chemical nightmare, whereas this is a chemical nightmare. Yeah, Reve, horrible. I don't recommend that at all. Doux is really nice, really, really pretty. I think if you like kind of creamy Santal perfumes and you like the original Glossier you're going to really probably be into that one. So next up we've got Sabrina Carpenter Cherry Baby. So I have the original Sweet Tooth. I didn't like Sweet Tooth Caramel because I found the patchouli in that one totally overwhelming. But I really wanted to smell Cherry Baby because I kind of like cherry perfumes. I quite like the original Sweet Tooth, and it's compared, I know, to Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, which is a perfume I really like, but is completely ridiculously expensive. And I've yet to find a dupe that I think is actually really captures the black cherry in that one. And I have tried Kayali's one with black cherry, and that black cherry note is amazing, but I hate the dry down of that, as I dislike most of the Kayali dry downs, because they're always full of patchouli and amber, and they all smell, just don't smell good to me. So Cherry Baby is cherry, brown sugar, plum and apple in the top. Mid notes, dark chocolate, red poppy, vanilla orchid and peony. Base notes, cashmere wood, amber, musk, patchouli and resin. So this one's okay. I mean, I feel like it does have a slight vibe of Lost Cherry, but it's not a black cherry, and it's obviously not a black cherry. It's a much more kind of sour cherry sweets kind of, it has nothing natural about it, is a kind of rude way to say that, but it smells less like a sweet when it dries down, because you're getting more of those kind of classic perfumey notes like the cashmere wood and the musk and the patchouli and the amber. It's totally pretty. I do get a bit of that chocolate. I've got a lovely kind of cherry plummy smell. It's got some general florals. And again, it's in that same kind of scarlet poppy florally thing, but it's not quite as powdery. Yeah, and I think it's nice. I wouldn't need a bottle of this though, because if I'm going to wear something that smells like cherry and chocolate and isn't black cherry, I'm just going to wear Lolita Lempica's Sweet, because I really like that perfume. This one I think is a bit more of a classic perfumey vibe, because you're definitely getting those kind of more resinous, ambery, patchouli, woody things in the base. But I find it quite wearable. I could definitely wear this one. I just, and I will keep the and I will keep this little sample, and I'm sure I'll wear it at some point. But yeah, I mean, I don't feel like this is one I would need a whole bottle of, but I do think it's really pretty, and it's so affordable. You can get it in the UK, like a 50ml bottle for about 25 quid. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a really lovely perfume. It's just not something that I feel like needs to be added to my collection personally. So then we have Billie Eilish number 3. So the original Billie Eilish, I think, is okay. I have a perfume from Al Nuaim, a perfume oil called Chocolate Musk, not to be mixed up with Al Rahab Choco Musk. Very different smell. And I feel like Billie Eilish perfume smells very similar to that, but with kind of red berries and rose added in. So it's got more of a perfumey smell, but it's kind of sitting on a base of that kind of chocolatey, musky, caramelly smell that I get from that perfume. So I've never felt the need to actually get the Billie Eilish because I don't really love the red berries in that one. But I smelt the number 2, the Eilish number 2. That one was just too masculine for me, too woody. I feel like that one was a bit tarry when I smelt it as well. It smelled a bit aroma chemically. But I thought I'd take a chance to smell this one because people were saying it smells like Christmas. So let's have a sniff. I mean, yeah, this smells like Christmas. So this is a unisex perfume, like advertised as such, and it smells very unisex to me. I think some people who like very feminine perfumes would find this fully masculine because it has a fir note in it, which is why it smells so Christmassy. So this is pink pepper, grapefruit and jasmine in the top. Mid notes of fir, saffron, cedar. Base notes of musk, amber and oak moss. You really get that fir. I think it's the strongest. The pink pepper is put above, but I think this is fir. This is fir. It's quite sweet as well. It's actually really reminding me of a much more expensive indie perfume. I'm just going to see. I bet it's not in the votes because no one knows about them. So it smells like a perfume from And. So I've got the sample set from and I have a little one called Bear, and I wore it last year at Christmas time because the notes are pine in the top, fir and red cedar in the mid, and then the base is vanilla. So it is basically a Christmas tree and vanilla scent. Yeah, so Bear from And smells really similar to this. I feel like the pink pepper is the bit where this is kind of slightly different, but yeah, I mean, I feel like they're actually quite similar and they would wear really similarly. Like what this is smelling like on my skin reminds me of wearing Bear. So as in Bare by And Fragrances. Now, a bottle of the Eau de Toilette, a 50ml of the Eau de Toilette from And is about £70. And the 50ml of the Eau de Parfum is like, I don't know, like 150 maybe. So this is like a really good affordable alternative to that if you want something that smells like a sweet Christmas tree. So I actually think it's really good value. Like, I'm quite impressed. It's not one I need because I very rarely am going to want to smell like a Christmas tree. But yeah, I mean, smelling it again, I can get that pink pepper. It is a bit nose tingly, but like not in a bad way. Yeah, it's really nice. It's very Christmassy. I'm not sure that it's massively wearable, but it's really quite impressive. I mean, the reason I wouldn't get like a bigger bottle of Bear is because it's just not the way I'd want to smell most of the time. It's purely just, in fact, I'd kind of prefer it like sprayed on other things around my house. At Christmas, and I'd feel the same about this. Like, I'd really like to spray this as like a room spray or have it as a candle at Christmas because it just really smells Christmassy. But yeah, it's not really one I'd want to actually smell like. And then we've got this one. It was Maria Colette that sold this one to me. This is Lancome's La Vie Belle L'Elixir. I just was interested to smell this because I don't like La Vie Belle perfumes, generally speaking. And it's the patchouli that really throws it off for me. And she was saying this one doesn't really smell like that, and it's like a raspberry and leather perfume. And I was like, I'm much more interested in smelling something like that. And smelling the deep dry down of this on the paper, it really doesn't remind me of La Vie Belle. This seems like quite a step away from that general La Vie Belle perfume, which is one I really don't like. But I can't. It's got the kind of, well, I don't really know what to say. What's left? It's kind of generic floral kind of dry down. Just going to respray this because the deep dry down's not really doing much. It's not really giving. All right. Ooh, yeah. Okay, that's super fruity. It's a very unnatural smelling raspberry. Yeah, it's a really, like a raspberry jelly smell. That's what that's reminding me of. Which isn't a bad thing. I love raspberry jelly, but it doesn't really taste like raspberries. It's getting more tangy. It's getting more juicy. Super, super fruity. You've got a bit of the liquor. I'm not getting a huge amount, though. It's not, like, horrifically boozy. Oh, I haven't given you the notes yet, have I? Raspberry liqueur, Calabrian, bergamot, middle notes of violet leaf and rose, base notes leather, cacao, butter, and cedarwood. I'm really getting the violet leaf through, so there is a greenness. So it is a little bit violety, but it's not like full on in your face violet because it's the leaf, so it's the green version, you know. And the raspberry and the violet leaf together, you have got this kind of fizziness. It's maybe slightly boozy, but I don't think this smells quite as rich as I was expecting it to. I'm not getting a huge amount of leather from this yet. I'm waiting for the leather to pop out, but at the moment it's still smelling kind of... If you told me this was a Britney Spears perfume, I'd be like, oh yeah. Not because it's shampooey, which is how I find most of her perfumes, but because it has that just fruity, floral, kind of slightly thick, sugary smell about it, like syrupy. And hopefully the leather's going to come through, but I mean this is kind of pretty. It doesn't smell like the classic La Vie Belle. It is classically Lancome in that I feel like this is going to give me a headache. It doesn't feel like the kind of perfume that I would find wearable personally, because like there's something in Lancome perfumes that just always make me feel like I'm going to get a headache, or actually fully give me a headache. Like Idol, for instance. All of the Idols are just instant headaches in a bottle. But yeah, this one, it's definitely headache inducing, but it is a very sweet raspberry jelly. Like, in fact, it's like raspberry jelly before you've mixed the water in. You know when you get the cubes of jelly? It's like that. With violet leaf. I'm not getting massive amounts of leather or booze. Now, again, this might be my nose. This might be that those are aroma chemicals in here that are supposed to smell like liqueur and are supposed to smell like leather, and they're just not doing that for me. And in terms of the cocoa butter, this hasn't gone full lotiony. It hasn't gone into like smelling like a body lotion, so that's good. But it's the least offensive of any of the La Vie Belles I've ever smelt, because I just don't like La Vie Belle. So this is the most wearable one I've smelt, I think. Even if it's not really wearable for me. So yeah. I mean, it's quite pretty, really. Not one that I particularly would want to wear, and not one I would want a bottle of, although I do think the bottle is so beautiful. You'll be seeing that on the screen, and it's just so gorgeous, but... yeah, I mean, I'm surprised by how inoffensive I find that one, because normally I find La Vie Belle very offensive, but yeah. So that was my little group of samples. I think, really, the Glossier U I think might be the nicest. Oh no, wait. Oh no, wait, something's happened. Oh no, it's turned tarry. Oh no. Okay. Glossier You has turned tarry. You Do has turned into tar. All right. I take it back. Not wearable. Horrible. Oh no. Yeah, Reve and Doux. Don't like either of them. Okay, both bad. So I think Eilish number 3 is good, but I think it's very much an acquired taste. I wouldn't want to smell like a Christmas tree for more than like about an hour. Yeah, so I mean, it has to be said, Sweet Tooth Cherry Baby by Sabrina Carpenter is the winner here. It's probably the only one I would actually wear. And Belle Elixir, I think, is the probably the next most wearable in terms of the actual scent profile, even if it is probably going to give me a headache. But again, that's just Lancome for you. So yeah, yeah, don't bother with those two. I don't think they're very good. Just stick with the original You, or if like me, you like irisy scents but you don't like ambroxan. Oh well, I'm sorry to say because it's so expensive, but Fleur de Peau is really good from Diptyque. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of these if you smelt them. Okay, bye.